Welcome to the Sim Skies Podcast, the podcast all about Flight Simulator. And now, introducing our host, who can fly a fake airplane with a little bit of confidence, Lexterio.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Sim Skies. This is a flight sim podcast. I know, it's odd. There are millions and millions of podcasts out there, and not a whole lot that cover Microsoft Flight Simulator, and that's what we cover primarily on this podcast. Today's episode is going to be about the hidden costs of flight simulation. Yes, there are a few hidden costs when it comes to getting involved with flight simulation. Whether it's X-Plane or Microsoft Flight Sim, you can buy just the title itself. You can certainly do that and have a fantastic time. Now that's of course saying you have some sort of a peripheral, so a controller, joystick, etc. You can definitely do that. And I'll be very honest, for the first 20 plus years, well, about 20 years of my simulation, it was pretty much that. This dates back to 99, when I got into Microsoft Flight Sim 98. And all I had was the simulator itself. I bought myself a nice side stick. I think I bought myself the Microsoft Sidewinder, is that what they call it? Fantastic joystick back in the day. Back in the day is fantastic. And I had a lot of fun with that. I didn't buy any add-on airports. I didn't buy any add-on aircrafts. I don't even think I bought or found any liveries. I just used what was ever built into the simulator. And I don't even know if you could back in 98. And then Flight Sim 2001 came out. And the same thing. I simply used what I had prior to. So the joystick. No rudder pedals, no yoke, no throttle quadrant, right? I didn't have a game controller. It was just my joystick. And then I took a break from Flight Sim. Jumped into X-Plane 11. And again, I didn't buy any add-ons whatsoever. No airplanes, no sceneries. But I did have to buy a brand new controller because it had been a while since I used flight simulation, and I don't even know what happened to the Microsoft Sidewinder I had. It just long vanished. So I did have to buy a new controller, and I don't remember what I even bought, but it's a $20, $30 joystick, nothing special. It didn't have a throttle on it, right? That was still the F4 key or whatever key binding is on Flight Sim. And then Flight Sim 2020 came out. And it really changed the way that I interact with flight simulation. It became not so much of a side hobby, but a major hobby of mine. And as the months had gone on, I got more and more sucked into it. So when it first, even before it officially launched, I had ideas of what I wanted to do. And I had bought a yoke. And it was my first time ever experiencing a yoke. I don't remember which brand it was anymore. But I had bought a yoke. And I hated it. I really hated it. And I likely did not like it because I did not know how to use a yoke. I was so accustomed to a joystick. So I returned that yoke and ended up buying a better set of joystick. I had bought one with a throttle on it. Thrustmaster, I believe. And I loved it. Had a lot of fun. The GA airline flying, had a blast. And then things got more serious when the official launch happened, because I was using that new joystick and throttle on X-Plane and then on the alpha beta versions of Flight Sim 2020. And then the game came out itself in August of 2020, and we had just moved to a new city, new state, and Honeycomb was coming out with their stuff, and I was just blown away at the look of the Alpha and the Bravo. And those would be my first big purchases when it came to add-ons to Flight Sim. And I know I can't do a flight without either one of those now. It's very hard. When I was using the technical stress test of 2024, I forgot that I had an add-on on my PC, a program that disables peripherals. So I was having problems flying with them. So I had to bring out the good old-fashioned Airbus Thrustmaster joystick to get flying with that, and it worked out flawlessly. But when I finally got to jump into 2024, the stress test with my Alpha, I was so happy. I was like, oh, back into the realm I belong to. And as time went on, I started buying aircrafts. The CRJ was one of the first, I think it was the first airliner that was available for 2024. So I purchased that. And being from Chicago, I had to buy add-ons for Chicago. And as time went on, I just started purchasing more and more of those aircrafts and sceneries. And I'm more of a aircraft, I think, add-on. In terms of software add-ons, I'm more of an aircraft add-on person. I do have a wealth of scenery, and a lot of it is free thanks to FlightSim.to and all the contributors there. But I definitely am more of an aircraft add-on person because I don't always fly. I do more now, but I didn't always fly into the same airports. I used to fly randomly, kind of just smaller little airports, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing a lot initially with 2024. Kind of split it between the airliner stuff and the GA stuff. So it'll be interesting to see what I do going forward with 2024. But for me, it's the immersion. It's the experience. Every aircraft within the sim operates a little bit more differently than the other. They may look very, very similar. For example, the Caravan, the Kodiak. You look at it from a distance, you're like, oh wow, they're the same plane. Not really. Two different planes. Both handle extremely differently. Both accomplish the goal of flying, but both fly two different ways. And that's what's cool about Flight Sim is you can jump into the sim and experience it a whole different way simply because of a plane. Or simply because when you land into Boston, you're seeing Boston's airport and not just auto-generated airports. You're seeing actually what Boston looks like, which is really, really cool. So, yeah, there's a little bit of a hidden fee, a little bit of hidden cost within flight simulation, but it expands the simulation. One thing that the trend within the gaming industry that a lot of people hate is the cost of DLCs, pay to win, paying for the look of things, right? Your weapon has a new appearance to it. You have new clothes in your game. Do those add really to the experience? A little bit, right? Cosmetics do, a little bit. But I'm not a cosmetics person. I'll be very honest, I've never bought any DLC simply because of cosmetics. Never pre-ordered something because of cosmetics. But that's my personality. That's not what I want. I want to experience a different place, or a different car, a different weapon. Not even weapons. I don't know if I bought any kind of add-on for a weapon either. That's just who I am, and that's the kind of person that I enjoy. The way I enjoy flying, or plain game. So yeah, there's a little bit of an extra cost when it comes to flight sim, but it adds on so much more. So what would my recommendation be for you? Well, I don't have one. You have to make your own decision. Do you need a joystick? Do you want a yoke? Do you need rudder pedals? No, you don't need them, but do you want them? You might. Do you need a stream deck? Do you need a game controller? Do you need a butt kicker? There are so many things you can buy to expand your experience within Flight Simulator. If you're brand new to it, I'd say get a joystick. Get a nice $20, $30 joystick. See where the world takes you. And once you experience some of the default aircrafts, maybe look around. Maybe there's something that catches your eye. Thanks for watching as always. We'll see you in the next episode. Take care.